A very good afternoon. This is Avinindra Som and you're listening to the news in detail on Gold FM.
The news headlines on Gold FM.
GMOA begins discussions with President as train actions kick off. Ex-Minister Rambukwal and son served indictments, then bailed. Sri Lanka's BRICS absence comes under spotlight once more. Pakistan calls on House Republicans to vote to release Epstein files. Pakistan whitewash ODI series against Sri Lanka.
The top story on Gold FM.
Patients seeking treatment at hospitals across the island are facing severe inconvenience due to the professional action launched by government doctors. The Government Medical Officers Association initiated the work to rule action today, limiting several key medical services. These limitations include restricting the issuance of prescriptions for purchasing medicines externally and curtailing recommendations for external laboratory services. The GMO stated that the government had failed to pay any attention to the budget proposals submitted by the association, leading to the decision to launch the professional action. However, amidst the escalating crisis, a group of representatives from the GMOA arrived at the Presidential Secretariat. They're scheduled to participate in a discussion concerning the current situation, which is being held under the chairmanship of President Anwakumara Dissanayake. Reports confirm that this crucial discussion is currently underway at the Presidential Secretariat. The GMOA had submitted several key proposals to the government after a thorough review of the current budget. The main demands included in these proposals relate to providing housing facilities for doctors, the 36% income tax imposed on their income, and various salary-related proposals. Now, in a parallel development, the Association of Medical Specialists also expressed their dissatisfaction yesterday, claiming the government failed to provide solutions to the demands they made regarding the current budget proposals. Specialist Dr. Sunil Vijay Singh, representing the Association of Medical Specialists, stated that the association is preparing to launch a professional action on the 26th and 27th of the coming week to protest the government's inaction. Now, in the meantime, GMOA media spokesperson Dr. Chamil Vidya Singh emphasized that none of the proposals submitted by the association were incorporated into the budget presented by the President.
This is the local news on Gold FM.
Former Sri Lankan ambassador to Russia Dr. Saman Veerasinghe stated that it does not approve of the government's decision to not participate in the BRICS summit. He also urged the government to take immediate steps to commence talks pertaining to the construction of the Russian nuclear power plant offered to Sri Lanka. Speaking in a special interview with Hero News, Dr. Veerasinghe said he is prepared to assist the government in further strengthening diplomatic relations between the two countries. This interview marked his first with a major electronic media channel since he was awarded the Russian State Award for Friendship, the highest civilian honor presented by Russia to a foreign national. In the interest of clarity, we have left his remarks undubbed.
BRICS වලට අපිට ලංකාවට පෞද්ගලිකවම ආරාධනාවක් ලැබුණා. නමුත් ලංකාවේ නියෝජනයක් වුණේ නැහැ. මම කනමතේ. ඒක අනුමත කරන්න බැරි රාජ්‍ය නායකයන් සියලුම දෙනා ඉන්දියාවේ ගරු අගමැතිතුමා පවා ඒ වගේ අවස්ථාවන් අපි මතහර ගන්න හොඳ නැහැ. ඒකව ඒ වගේ අවස්ථාවන් නැවත අපිට නොලැබෙන්න පුළුවන්. BRICS එකට සම්බන්ධ වෙන ලංකාවට ආර්ථික වශයෙන් අතිවිශාල ලාභයක් ලබා ගන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් අලුත්ම යන කතාව තමයි යුරෝපීය සංගමය කඩාගෙන වැටලා BRICS එකට එකතු වෙන්න පුළුවන් කියලා අන්තිම කාලේ යනවා. නමුත් ඒක අපි අත්හරිනවා. රුසියාවත් එක්ක ගනුදෙනු කරද්දී අපිට ලොකුම බාධකය තමයි මේ ඇමරිකාව දාලා තියෙන සම්බාධ. ඒ වගේ ප්‍රශ්නක් තියෙනවා. ඒ ප්‍රශ්නේ නිසා අපේ තියෙන දීපාර්ශික වෙළඳ ගණනවලදී ඩොලර් මිලියන 500ක විතර අපනයනයක් ඩොලර් මිලියන 150කට විතර කිට්ටුවේ. ඒකට ලොකු වෙළඳ හිමිතාවයකුත් තියෙන ලංකාවේ. විශේෂයෙන් මේවට යම් ආකාරයක ක්‍රමවේදයක් හොයන උමනාවකුත් මේහා සම්බන්ධ මූල්‍ය ශාස්ත්‍රයේ ඉන්නවට එතන ලොකු අවශ්‍යතාවයක්. රුසියාවෙන් අතරම ලංකාවේ මේ න්‍යෂ්ටික බලාගාරයක් හදන්න අසර ගන්නාව ඉඳලා යෝජනාවක් තියෙනවා. අවුරුදු 10ක් තිස්සේ මේ ගැන සාකච්ඡා කරා. නමුත් ඒ ගැන අපේ තියෙන යම් ආකාරයක දීපිකාවක් මේකට අවසර දුන්නත් අපිට යුරෝපීය රටවල් වලින් යම් ආකාරයක විරුද්ධතාවයක් වගේ කතාවක් තියෙනවා. යුරෝපීය මේක ගන්නවා නම් ඒක අපිට ගන්න බෑ. නමුත් ඒ ගැන ඒ තරම් ලොකු අවශ්‍යතාවයක් ලංකාවේ නෑ.
Now, in the meantime, indictments have been filed by the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption against former Minister Kelly Rambukwelle, his son Ramit Rambukwelle, his daughter Amali Nainika Rambukwelle, and their maid Nipuni Krishna Jina. The indictments relate to 2 cases filed by the Bribery Commission and were presented before the Colombo High Court. Following the formal filing of the charges, the High Court judge ordered that all 4 accused be released on bail. The judge further ordered that the 2 cases be called for a pre-trial conference on the 12th and 14th of January. During the same court session, indictments were also filed against former Minister Kelly Rambukwelle and his son Ramit Rambukwelle in a separate 3rd case. They were subsequently released on bail. The specific case had been ordered to be recalled for a pre-trial conference on the 20th of January. These cases are reported to have been filed concerning the unlawful acquisition of assets and property during the period when Kelly Rambukwelle was functioning as a minister. Police arrested a 32-year-old woman for allegedly aiding and abetting the recent shooting and murder of a man in Kotahena. Investigations by the Colombo District Crime Division revealed that the suspect had connected with an alleged underworld figure, overseas, and allegedly helped facilitate the attack by providing a vehicle and information on the victim's travel route. The shooting occurred on the 7th November along the 16th lane Kotahena when assailants opened fire on a 43-year-old man who later died from his injuries. Police said the victim was an associate of an alleged notorious underworld figure Balachandran Pushparaj. Individuals who feed wild elephants along the Buttala-Kataragama road will now face strict legal action. That's according to the Department of Wildlife Conservation, which made the decision after considering the increased threats against motorists and pedestrians due to the elephants' expectation of food. This comes after a reported uptick in reports of tourists and locals alike stopping to feed the animals on the side of the road. Officials highlighted that such actions lead to elephants becoming accustomed to seeking food from passing humans and frequently attempt to block vehicles, leading to dangerous confrontations. The former chairman of the Geological Survey and Mines Bureau, Anura Valpola, was arrested by the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption. He faces allegations of recruiting an employee without following the proper due process.
Now for some news in brief.
Former Deputy Speaker Ajit Rajapaksa appeared before the Bribery Commission to give a statement after responding to a summons. A 19-year-old boy rescued from a near drowning off Galface Beach died last night at the Colombo National Hospital.
The business news on Gold FM.
Sri Lanka's Committee on Public Finance released its report on the 2026 budget, revealing a substantial but temporary windfall from vehicle markets. The COPEF states that the Ministry of Finance now expects to collect approximately 650 billion rupees in vehicle tax revenues for 2025. This is a 200 billion rupee higher than initially forecast and a nearly 600 billion rupee increase from the previous year, with vehicle imports for 2025 topping $1.5 billion. However, this revenue surge is not expected to be sustained. For 2026, the COPEF forecasts vehicle imports will decline to around $1.2 billion, causing tax revenue from the sector to drop to approximately 550 billion rupees. The report warns that maintaining fiscal targets in 2026 will be challenging as the government eases off the high reliance on these temporary import taxes. Bandar Nike International Airport is adding 20 new self-check-in kiosks, bringing the total to 28. This is a part of efforts to improve passenger flow ahead of the busy winter travel season. Since its launch in 2023, the self-check-in service has grown in popularity, with 15% of Sri Lankan Airlines passengers now using the kiosks to bypass queues, select seats, print boarding passes, and generate bag tags. Singapore Airlines will be the first foreign carrier to adopt the facility, with more expected to follow. BIA currently handles 9 to 10 million passengers annually and recorded over 8.1 million in the first 9 months of 2025. HNB Finance posted a strong turnaround with profit after tax rising 129% year-on-year to 620.43 million rupees, up from 270.55 million in the previous period. The growth was driven by a 36% increase in the loan portfolio, led by a 57% surge in the core leasing segment and robust performance in gold loans. Nations Trust Bank posted a 23% year-on-year rise in profit after tax for the 9 months to September, reaching 14.9 billion rupees. The growth was driven by a 45% increase in customer lending, with the bank maintaining capital ratios well above regulatory requirements. NTB has also signed an agreement to acquire HSBC's entire retail banking business in Sri Lanka. The deal includes HSBC's branch network, credit card portfolio, and around 200,000 consumer accounts. The transaction awaits regulatory approval and is expected to close in the first half of 2026. The David Pieris Group sealed a major partnership with Helego, the new ride-hailing platform from the Helekuru Super app. The collaboration aims to introduce a fairer, more transparent model to Sri Lanka's transport sector. Helego's system allows fares to naturally adjust based on supply and demand, moving away from fixed algorithmic pricing.
International news on Gold FM.
Authorities in Saudi Arabia and India are scrambling to coordinate a response following a deadly collision and fire involving a bus carrying Indian Umrah pilgrims. The incident occurred near Medina while the bus was travelling from Mecca. Reports indicate the bus collided with a diesel tanker before bursting into flames. At least 42 Indian nationals are feared dead, with many of the victims believed to be from the city of Hyderabad in the Telangana state. In India, distressed relatives have rushed to tour agency officers, urgently appealing to the Indian government to expedite the repatriation of the bodies. US President Donald Trump called on House Republicans to vote to release the Epstein files, reversing his previous stance. Posting on Truth Social, Trump said, quote, "House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein files because we have nothing to hide," unquote. The move comes as dozens of Republicans reportedly signaled support for the release. The House is expected to vote this week on the Epstein Files Transparency Act, which would compel the Justice Department to make public all unclassified records and investigative material linked to financier Jeffrey Epstein.
Entertainment news on Gold FM.
Tom Cruise received an Academy Honorary Award at the Governor's Awards, with the honor presented by director Alejandro G. Inarritu, who is working with Cruise on an upcoming film slated for October 2026. In an emotional acceptance speech, Cruise paid tribute to everyone involved in filmmaking and celebrated the unifying power of cinema.
Sports news on Gold FM.
Pakistan secured a comfortable 6-wicket victory over Sri Lanka in the third and final one-day international last night, sealing a 3-0 series whitewash. Sri Lanka was bowled out for a modest 211 runs. Pacer Mohammad Basim claimed 3 crucial wickets. Opener Fakhar Zaman scored a half-century in the chase. Sri Lanka fought hard through the middle overs, capturing the key wickets of captain Baba Asam and Salman Aga in quick succession, but the efforts were simply not enough. Pakistan successfully chased the target with 5.2 overs to spare. Sri Lankan national rugby player Tarinder Ratwatta announced his retirement from the sport. Ratwatta began his career at Trinity College, Kandy, before playing for CRN FC and later joining Kandy Sports Club. According to rugby sources, he is expected to return to the game in the future as a coach. And that's all the news for now. This is Avanindra Soma for Gold FM News.